Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about The Boys Season 5, the final season, Episode 2. Okay, if you didn't know, Amazon Prime did release Episode 1 and 2 together. In my previous video, I did review Episode 1. I did talk about briefly, what I liked and what things I didn't like about it. But in this video, I'll be talking about Episode 2. So if you haven't watched the episode, please do watch it and then come back to the video because I'll be talking about spoilers. Okay, Episode 1 ended with Homelander killing A-Train, which was, to me, it was a big surprise because I didn't watch any of the trailers. I didn't know what kind of scenes we will be getting in this season. And then I saw lots of people who watched the trailers and like all the clips saying A-Train was only wearing the same clothes. And then they speculated that he would die in this season because, he just looks the same in every scene. Luckily, I didn't watch the trailers, so I was quite surprised and upset by that. It actually saddened me. Like, he was growing on me. I was liking him. And then, they killed him off. So it just shows that no one is safe in this season. And I'm absolutely loving that aspect of the season so far. But yeah, this episode, you know what? Some parts were better than the premiere episode, but some parts of episode 1 was better than this. But I would say these two episodes are equal. They have their slower parts, they have their amazing parts. But this time around, Huey, Frenchie, and MM, they got rescued by Butcher, Kimiko, and Starlight from the prison, like the freedom camp that they were in from, Homelander. And then now that they have to test this virus, the virus from season 4 and like Gen V that can kill all the soups, Butcher's like, we have to test it, make sure it can kill the soups and it doesn't affect humans. So they find a group called Teenage Kicks, who are like this low level, Walt sponsored social media superhero team. And then there's literally a character like the Thing from Fantastic Four, who is just sitting on a chair like Stephen Hawking's and just talking through a computer. And the whole episode is to figure out how can we make him breathe, because he can hold his breath for like 2 hours or so, like 2 days, I can't remember, but he can hold it for a very long time. The whole episode is the group trying to find out how can we make him breathe so he can take in the virus and, to see if he dies or not. You know what? It was a fun episode. I really, really enjoyed most of it. And the whole Homelander stuff and him, trying to find where Butcher is and what they're doing, and, at the same time controlling the whole American government. He's literally the president and he's controlling the president. Even though he's not the president, he is the president because the real president is a puppet for Homelander, basically. Like, all the scenes with him and Ashley and Sage and the Deep were just great. As always, Anthony Starr just steals the show every time, and he's even better in this episode than episode 1 because they reintroduce Soldier Boy. Oh my god, bro. Soldier Boy is literally one of my favorite characters from The Boys. Literally, the season 3 with Soldier Boy was absolutely amazing. I love this character. The actor's doing a great job, and they bring him back. And the whole element of Homelander trying to impress him because that's his, so-called dad, was just funny as hell. For example, one of the scenes, like, Soldier Boy wants to have a cocktail, and Homelander orders the president to make a cocktail for him, and the president's like, what do you want, milk? And Homelander's like, no, I want the cocktail as well. It's just, those scenes are so funny and just meme-worthy. But yeah, Homelander makes a deal with Soldier Boy to track down Butcher and find him so he can be number 2 in the 7. Soldier Boy doesn't take it lightly, but he agrees to it because Butcher did betray him in season 3 finale, so he wants to get revenge on Butcher. By the end, he does find Butcher. There's some good conflict between them. There's some good dialogue, and then they lure Soldier Boy into the whole influencer superhero house that I mentioned, the Teenage Kicks, and then they release the fucking virus, dude. I was like, no way they're gonna kill Soldier Boy. There's absolutely no way. And for a moment, they did kill him. Looked like they did kill him. They released the virus. The Rock guy explodes. His brain explodes. The other 2 superheroes, Soldier Boy and the guy, I can't remember the flying one. I can't remember his name. Anyway, so they get poisoned, and you can see their face all like fucking getting mutated and shit. And they're having blisters on their face. And they get knocked out. The boys escape. They quarantine the house. And at the end, Homelander loses it. He's like, oh, he can't believe that they killed Soldier Boy, his dad. He's like idol. But the final shot is Soldier Boy getting up. So, what I think about this episode, like I said, I think it's brilliant. Like I said, everything. But the whole storyline of the virus is really intriguing because they thought they won. And I was thinking like, okay, this is only episode 2 and already the virus is working. Like, they're killing superhumans. no, obviously it's not gonna work out, and they have to redo all of it. And man, it's just like the whole tension is really, really rising this time around. The whole relationship between the characters was great to see as well, with Frenchie and Kimiko, like Frenchie reacting to Kimiko's talking was so weird. And yes, I forgot to mention, Kimiko actually starts talking now. And her English is very, very in vain with the boys series. She swears a lot. She's very talkative. She does say some offensive shit, and Frenchie cannot believe what he hears from Kimiko, but they still have great connection, even though their relationship was built on sign language and everything. But the actors do such a great job that it naturally translates into them just talking, and it just, I don't know, to me it brought out a new dynamic between these two characters, which I really, really appreciated. But the team dynamic is still there, even though there's a lot of conflict with Huey and Butcher, the ideologies and stuff. And the whole drama of Butcher releasing the virus, killing every soup, is still there because it means Kimiko and Starlight will die if that happens. So watching this, I did think that I think they're gonna reverse engineer the virus, like Frenchie or someone will do it. I think it will be Frenchie because he's the smartest one with the scientific things like that. I think he will reverse engineer where they lose the powers, and that actually plays into the whole Soldier Boy storyline. Him getting up at the end of the episode indicates that the virus didn't work, or what I'm thinking is it did work, but he lost his powers. Now that would be very, very interesting to see. Hi there everyone, this is Justin from the future. While editing this video, I realized that I didn't talk about how the team reacted to A-Train's death. And yeah, that is definitely one of my nitpicks. I think they should have at least acknowledged his death and, pay a bit more tribute because he redeemed himself compared to his villainous self from before. Yeah, that is definitely one of the things I didn't like about this episode. We only got 2 short scenes where MM pours some drinks for him in honor of his death, and Huey basically mentioning him as a hero to Butcher. I think they should have acknowledged it more. Even the Homelander paying tribute scene at the beginning felt more respectful of his death, but still, yeah, that's definitely one of my gripes. So I do hope that they, as a group, talk about his sacrifice in a future episode. Okay, let's continue on with the review. But yeah, that's the whole episode 2. I thought there was some good action scenes, but the action was toned down from episode 1. Even if The Boys doesn't feature a lot of action, I still love it because the dialogue is so good. The storytelling is actually really funny and cool, and the characters are absolutely amazing. And it's just, I can't wait for the rest of the season. These 2 episodes are definitely a great start to the season compared to like season 4. I think we're in for a treat. Hopefully they deliver with the rest of the episodes, but please let me know down below. What did you think of this episode, and which one did you prefer, episode 1 or 2? To me, they're equal. Maybe episode 1 a little bit more, but episode 2 had some very, very strong stuff. And I'm really curious to see what happens with the Ashley character. Her having like a Voldemort looking twin head thing going on was really interesting. But yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see everyone on the next video.